Hello everyone, we will solve this today's LeetCode problem. This is island parameter. So this marked as an easy problem, but this is the most basic problem you need to solve if you want to solve start any graph problem or recursion, right? So in this we have given a row into column and grid representing a map where grid ij is equals to 1 represents and grid ij is equals to 0 represent water. So this blue is marked as water and this gray is part is of land, right? So grid cells are connected horizontally and vertically, not diagonally, and the grid is completely surrounded by the water, and there is exactly one island that is one or more connected land cells. So this is confirmed that we have only one island uh, in this surround in this surroundings, right? In this grid we have only one island. So we need to find the parameter of this island. And what is the given that one cell is a square with side length 1. So if you consider this a square, so this is of this is a four side of parameter, right? So this parameter is 4 of one cell. So we need to find this parameter of whole island. So if you see here that what's the parameter in this case. So the yellow mark which is already been marked in image, if you see, this is only the parameter, right? What's the parameter of any figure? That's the outer boundary, which is uh, outer boundary of the figure was calculated as a parameter, right? So how will I calculate this? So if you see, I need to find a starting point in this grid where it is a land or a cell. So for that, I will iterate in whole grid, and whenever I got a land file, that means one, this one. So I will move in that direction only, right? So for knowing the value, right? So in this, suppose I am iterating in whole grid and I need to find a starting point so that I can move in all the four directions and see with where till where I have got the cells which is a part of an island, right? So we can only move horizontally and vertically, not diagonally, right? So for that, what I can do is I will iterate in whole direction, and suppose the first cell, which is a land, is at 0 comma 1. So I got the point, first position, first coordinates where the cell is a land. In this case it is 0 comma 1, right? This is 0 comma 1 in this example. So when I got the 0 comma 1, now I will move in all the four directions, and whenever I got one, I will move in that direction, right? So suppose here this one, I will now move from 0 to 1 to in four direction. So we if we move if we can't move in left direction, now right direction, but we can move in downward direction, which is 1. So I will move to 1. Now again I will move it's in this four directions. So this 1 comma 1 0 comma 1 is already been visited, so we will not move towards upward, but we can move in all the three directions. So this is how we will move in whole island, and so this is how I will get this island. But how will we calculate the parameter of the island, right? So for calculating the parameter of island, what I can see is every side had four length, right? Every side has one length, and a cell parameter is of 4. So but we can't add a 4 in per cell, because it is possible, if you see, it is possible that there is can be 3, can be 2, can be 2 and can be 3, right? And can also be 4 in another scenario. But how will we determine that which how many parameters, how many length are calculated for the each cell. So the problem is here that how will we decide decide at which side of a cell should be considered for parameter, right? This is the problem here. So let's see how. So if you see, the parameter is only we increment our parameter count only when we will take only the sides of that parameter where its boundary conditions, right? So in its boundary condition, if there is an water or there is out of bound condition, then only we will consider this parameter. Otherwise, if there is adjacent part is land, we will not consider it we will not consider it its length, right? Because it will again open to another boundary position, right? Suppose this is here at 0 comma 1, and now at 0 1 comma 1 there is another land, so this will contribute another parameter. This can may contribute another parameter. So for the 0 comma 1 there are only three, because opposite left and right part is water and the upward part is out of bound. So this for this cell there are three length of sides which can be considered as a parameter of this cell, right? So yeah, that's how we will calculate it. So what will be the solution for this? An observation, only just an observation. What if there is if the cell adjacent if the cells if the four directions, okay, if the cell if the current cell adjacent cells are water or out of bond, then we will consider it in parameter, right? So this is the observation here, according to me, right? So this is the observation here, right? So this is how we will calculate it, but that's the problem here. One again problem is that how will I how will I decide that where to move or where to not? So if I've already visited some grid which is a land, then we will not visit it again. So for that, I can take a vector visited to mark it as vector visited array to mark it that we have will not move again to that direction which is already been visited. So for that, so for that, I need to maintain a visited array, right? For not visiting another part. Instead of visiting array, I can also take another integer value which is not 0 or 1, so that I can confirm that I have visited this uh, cell already, and don't need to visit it already. So I can use the given array also, right? So the first thing, so what will be my approach here? I will use recursion, right? For that, so I will move in all four direction of a particular land cell, and when I get adjacent land cell, then I will move in that direction, right? Right, right. And I also mark it visited so that I do not I don't move in another direction, in that direction, in the same in the same cell again. Otherwise it will give clearly, right? Uh, we will not able to move it anyway, right? So again, uh, the first step was, this is the first, this is second. Now again, for calculating parameter, for calculating parameter, what will you do? We will do this. So for this, we can do this. If the current cell adjacencies are water out of boundary, then we will consider it as a parameter. This is the thing for calculating parameter, right? This is for calculating parameter. Let's see how it will get done, right? So what we do, we will first find the starting point. So for that, let's start grid. So how I got this approach, right? So if you see, I need to find the land, right? That how many cells will come considered as a land. So for that, I need to find a starting point so that I can traverse the whole land. So for that, I need to use move in four directions, right? And for calculating parameter along with that, I need we need an observation that the adjacent part is water, and the other adjacent adjacent part is water, or it is out of bound condition. Then the sides of that cell is considered as a parameter, right? So now I will find the starting point of island. So if this grid ij is 1, so this will be the my starting point, right? This will be my starting point. So I will call this function and pass this ij and grid. Okay, now I will make a count of global variable so that don't need to pass it. Otherwise I can also pass it, but I don't need to pass it, so that I can make a global variable. Now I will have pass this all, and for now, I suppose that I got the answer, so I will break it, because need only a starting point and there is only a one element. So I will break it and return my answer here. Now we will see this solve function. This is the main function here. Now for that, now for this, what will you do first? We need to we need to mark it as visited. For that, what will I do? If I change this to 0, suppose I change this to 0, what will it create for? But it will create problem if I change this to 0. Why? Because when we try to calculate its parameter of a cell, so if I change this to 0, suppose I go to here, this 0 1 comma 0, and I have already visited 1 comma 1, suppose, and I have already marked it as visited, and I am considering that the if the my boundary adjacent cells of current cell is 0, is water or out of boundary condition, then I will consider that side as in my parameter. But I have already marked this 1 comma 1 as a 0. So for 0 comma 1 comma 0 cell, this part will also consider as my parameter, which is wrong, right? So we will not mark it as 0, we will mark it as another number, which is not 0 or 1. So let's consider it as a 2, right? So let's consider it as 2. Now I will move in all the four directions. So for moving in all the four directions, you can also write like this: I plus 1, I j plus 1, I minus 1. But I will use some, I will make a direction array separately here, like this: 0 comma 1, 1 comma 0, and 0 comma minus 1, right? Now I will move in this direction, the 0 to 4, k plus plus 0 to 4, and I will move in all the four directions. So the first is I. So what this will do? This will move in all the four directions. This is all the four directions. So this will make x and y in all the four directions. Now I need to check the boundary conditions. If this x is less than 0, or this y is less than 0, or this x is less than n, this y is less than n. So this is the boundary conditions. So if I hit these boundary conditions, I will increment my answer, because that will consider the parameter in my cell. Or if this grid is water, so that will also consider parameter for me, right? And if the boundary condition is there and grid xy is 0, so we will also not move in that direction. So I will not move in that direction. But if grid x and y is land, I will again call this solve function again with new coordinates, grid x, right? Right. So what I have done, I will move in all four directions. If I get out of boundary condition or water, I will increment the parameter. If I get adjacent cells, I will again call with new land cell coordinate to solve this function. This is how we will calculate the parameter of island by so let's run this. Some error is there. Okay, I have not defined an. Let's run. Mm, did I miss something? Grid ij is marks as 2. If grid ij is 1, I have moved in solve function ij grid. I have marked it as visited. I am okay. This should be 1. The y coordinate should be 1 here. Let's see another. This should be. Let's run. Yeah, we have passed the sample case. Let's submit it. Yeah, we have passed all the cases. So what will the time complexity for this? So the time complexity will be that how much time will we taking. So we are moving in all the four directions in whole grid. So that will and we are not moving in separate cells again and again. So we are moving in all the directions. So that will cover all the uh, cells of this grid. So that will be O of n into m for sure. And we are also considering yeah, that will be O of n into m, because we are moving in all directions. So that will be O of n into m, plus there will be a recursion stack space, that will again O of n into m. And what was the space complexity for this? So we are not taking any extra array here, and considering only this given array. So that will be O of 1 again, right? That will be O of 1 again. So yeah, this is how we will solve this function. Hmm. Again, yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.